To be successful in anything, you need to sacrifice a lot of things you're doing right now and focus on your goals. If you feel like you can't do that, then you don't deserve to be successful. If you want to continue to live a life filled with instant gratification and to stay a degenerate, then honestly, I don't even know what you're doing here. But maybe you decide that you want to become successful and live a life filled with strong values and make it to the top 1%. What should you start sacrificing in order to reach your goals at the highest possible level? You've got to get rid of all your bad habits and the things that only bring instant gratification and distract you. Habits like smoking, vaping, drinking, playing video games, clubbing, or going to parties, and most of all, watching porn. And if you've ever struggled with an addiction or habit that you wanted to break, then I've got you. Because I've personally struggled with addictions and I can confidently say I've broken them. So the first thing you have to do is make a decision of quitting. I feel like if you can form a thought so strong, you've won half the battle. Because once you've told yourself, I'm not gonna do this anymore, and you truly believe and stick to your word, then the rest of the things come much easier. This also ties in with something my teacher told me, and that's having a reason why you're quitting. Having it firmly established and carved within you will bring great success. Because just like having a purpose, having a reason not to do something makes things much easier and makes you able to follow through. Because check this out. I'm about to give you 2 examples and you decide which one sounds better. Guy 1 walks into a bar and is offered a cigarette by his friends. He declines and replies with, I'm actually trying not to smoke anymore. I'm on no fap for smokers. Blah blah blah. After a while, he's offered a second time and guy 1 falls into temptation. Guy 2, on the other hand, walks into the bar and is offered a cigarette by his friends. He declines and replies with, oh, no thank you, I don't smoke. His friends don't ask him again because they know he's not a smoker. Both guys are or were hardcore smokers, but the way they declined the cigarette were way different. The first guy sounded like he was uncertain and like he wasn't too confident on quitting for good. The second guy, on the other hand, kindly rejected the offer by saying, I don't smoke. The reason why he sounded so much more confident in his decision, he doesn't associate himself as a smoker anymore. And this leads me to my second tip, and that is don't associate yourself with your addiction. Now, just like you've seen with guy 2 in my example, not associating with your addiction increases your success rate by breaking this addiction, and here's how. I'm gonna use some bro science right now. So, when you keep thinking of a certain habit, it still plays a role in your life and is not fully gone yet. That's why I don't like the concept of nofap, because it keeps reminding you of your addiction. But once you let go and realize that this habit is no longer a part of you, you become free of it and the temptations that follow. What's useful is more important than what's true. So it's true that you've been smoking, you've been watching porn, all of that, but it's not useful for your brain to think that way. And this all fizzles down to one aspect of self, and that is your subconscious mind, the mind of imagination. We often worry too much in imagination than in reality. Stop creating these illusions in your brain that you can't do a certain thing or you can't overcome this addiction. But now that we're on the topic of association, don't associate with people who do the same bad habits you're trying to stop doing. They'll put pressure on you and eventually you'll fall into the same hole you dug yourself out of. And this attitude of collapsing under pressure has been with us for millions of years, because when our ancestors lived in tribes, that was the way to survive. If you were outcasted, you died because you're alone. And that's what it's about. It's about not being alone. But the good thing is you're not alone. There are people like you, people who are trying to improve themselves for the betterment. I want to start a community where young guys and girls can communicate and help each other grow to become greater and stronger individuals. So if you want to join, there's a link in the description below. Now, next is something that is more practical and that you can implement to help you defeat your habits. And this is something I like to call progressively deload. I don't know if that's an actual word or if I just made it up, but yes. Now, you've probably heard of progressively overloading, where you gradually increase the amount of times you do something. Now, this is just the opposite. Once you started doing a habit, you started with just doing it a little bit to doing it a lot more. So now what you're going to do is just reverse this whole motion, where instead of increasing the amount of times or whatever, you're just going to decrease the amount of times you do a certain thing. And I feel like this is a much more healthy and easier way on your brain than, for example, NoFap. Because once you start having streaks and counting the days you haven't done this thing, you start obsessing over it. And once you fail, you're very hard on yourself and you get frustrated. I've never smoked weed in my life, so I don't go and write down, oh, let's giggity go, I haven't smoked weed in 15 years, 7 months, and 26 days. Yes! No, I don't care, because I don't associate myself as a smoker, and you have to do the same. Start seeing yourself as the person who doesn't do that anymore, instead of the person who's on a no-fap journey or whatever. And there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and remember to improve daily. Thank you.